The sun hadn't yet breached the horizon, and already Elijah Carter was on campus. At Rosewood Preparatory Academy, a school where legacies walked in polished loafers and futures were handed down like heirlooms, Elijah's day began differently. While others slept comfortably under down comforters, Elijah unlocked the side maintenance door with a borrowed key and started his shift. 16 years old, tall for his age, with smooth dark skin and a mind sharpened by hardship, Elijah didn't come through the front entrance like his classmates. He slipped in from the east gate near the loading dock, wearing the same second-hand uniform, carefully ironed, and carrying a scuffed gray backpack held together with stitching and willpower. His black shoes, soles thinning from wear, still shined from nightly polish. The boy had pride, quiet, unwavering pride. Each morning, before anyone else stepped foot in the hallowed marble corridors of Rosewood, Elijah cleaned. He emptied bins in the art wing, mopped the floors outside the science labs, and scrubbed the bathrooms where golden faucets gleamed and hand soap came in branded dispensers. It wasn't part of any student curriculum. It was the price of opportunity. Elijah was the school's only full academic work scholarship student. The tuition was covered, yes, but the cost of fitting in was never waived. He didn't complain. Not when someone smirked and muttered, "Janitor boy." Not when teachers avoided eye contact while he refilled their paper trays. He accepted the deal. He had a dream, and he wouldn't let pride stop him from getting there. The halls of Rosewood carried an elegance meant to silent struggle. Velvet benches lined the corridors. Oil paintings of dead benefactors watched over students like judges. Everything smelled of money, leather-bound volumes in the library, citrus polish on the floors, and that faint metallic scent of privilege too long inhaled. But Elijah had something the others didn't. Hunger, not the kind that gnawed at his stomach, but the kind that clawed at his mind. Every day, after finishing his janitorial duties, he would slide quietly into the backseat of room 209, last row, window seat, and prepare to learn. He took notes like a monk transcribing scripture. Every equation, every phrase, even the pauses between words. His notebook, edges curled from use, was a sacred object. He filled its pages with focus that left even some teachers awed. Not that anyone said it out loud. While others whispered about spring break plans or texted beneath desks, Elijah listened. Observed. Absorbed. Most classmates didn't bother him. A few made snide comments, yes, but many admired him from afar. He was helpful without being obsequious, kind without expectation. He loaned pens, returned forgotten library books, and once spent an entire lunch helping a classmate understand stoichiometry, without ever mentioning the test he skipped to do it. He was that kind of student, that kind of person. And now, today, was the day everything mattered most. The scholarship exam wasn't just a formality. It was everything. Elijah's continued enrollment hinged on this test. Rosewood reevaluated scholarship students mid-year under the guise of academic fairness. One slip, one missed answer, and the school could revoke it all. No appeals. No second chances. He had studied every night until his eyes blurred. Even on nights when he had to help his sister with homework or prep meals for their working mother, he never let go of the plan. Do well on this test, keep the scholarship, earn the college recommendation, get out. He was ready. That morning, he finished his custodial shift as usual, buffed the trophy cases, wiped down glass doors streaked from rain, and entered the exam room 5 minutes early. Room 209 felt colder than usual, the lights harsher. Students filed in, murmurs fading as they took their assigned seats. Elijah sat in his usual place, back row, near the window, heart steady. He pulled out his lucky pencil, one he'd carved a notch into after every test he'd aced, and waited. The proctor, Ms. Renly, took her place at the front. Thin-rimmed glasses perched on the tip of her nose. Hair pulled into a bun, so tight it looked painful. She read instructions with robotic clarity and started the timer. Silence fell. Pen scratched paper. Students hunched forward, brows furrowed. Elijah worked methodically. Section 1, Logic and Reasoning. Section 2, Analytical Writing. By the start of Section 3, he was ahead of schedule. Focused. Intent. Until he heard it. A gasp. Then a gurgling noise. He turned to his left. The boy next to him, Julian Blackwell, son of a senator, wearer of $300 sneakers, was convulsing. His face was gray. His hand clutched his chest. A gurgled cry escaped his throat before he slumped forward. A pencil clattered to the floor. No one moved. Ms. Renly looked up, alarm flashing in her eyes, but she didn't approach. Instead, she reached for the office phone. "Medical emergency," she said curtly. "Room 209. She turned back to the class. Everyone remained seated. Anyone who leaves their desk forfeits the exam. Do not move. But Elijah had already risen. Time slowed. He stepped to Julian's side, knelt, and gently rolled him onto his back. "Can you hear me?" he asked. Julian's eyes were wide, unseeing. Elijah loosened Julian's collar, checked his pulse, faint, breathing shallow. Without hesitation, Elijah cleared Julian's airway and began chest compressions. He counted quietly. 1, 2, 3. "Mr. Carter," Ms. Renly's voice cracked like a whip. "Return to your seat. This is against protocol." Elijah didn't answer, didn't flinch. His hands moved with urgency and precision. He'd read about this. He'd practiced on old pillows. Because knowledge was power. Because if he ever saw someone dying, he didn't want to be helpless. The room was silent except for the sound of compressions and a few muffled gasps. Then footsteps. The nurse burst in, kneeling beside Elijah. "Keep going," she instructed. Minutes passed. Julian coughed. Relief swept the room like a breeze. He was breathing. Elijah stepped back, chest heaving. Sweat clung to his brow. The nurse nodded, impressed. "You probably saved his life." Elijah nodded silently and returned to his desk. The clock read 9:46 a.m. 15 minutes left. Half the test unfinished. He picked up his pencil. His hands were shaking. The words blurred. But he wrote anyway. When time was called, he closed the booklet. He already knew what it meant. By Thursday, the letter arrived. It was thin. He sat on the bus holding the envelope, fingers numb. He waited until he got home, until his mother had finished cooking, until his sister was coloring at the table. Then he opened it. "We regret to inform you." The words punched through him. He had failed. Not academically, but administratively. He had forfeited his scholarship by violating exam protocol. No mention of Julian. No recognition of what happened. Just rules. Just consequences. That night, Elijah didn't eat. He didn't sleep. But he didn't cry either. He got up the next day, put on his janitor uniform, and went to work. He cleaned the same classrooms he once sat in. Pushed the same cart down hallways where he once solved equations. No one said anything at first. Then a note appeared on his mop bucket. Written in neat cursive. "You did the right thing." No name. Just that. By Monday, it wasn't just notes. Students started whispering. Then speaking. Then shouting. An online petition was launched. Reinstate Elijah Carter. It spread. Fast. Teachers signed. Alumni joined. Journalists called. Even a local TV anchor mentioned it on air. The school said nothing. Until the cars arrived. 3 black cars rolled past the front gates at 8:02 a.m. sharp. Polished, intimidating. One by one, their doors opened. From the center vehicle stepped a woman in a charcoal suit, heels clicking like gunshots against stone. A dozen students froze. She walked with purpose, flanked by aides. Bypassed the receptionist. Entered the headmaster's office without knocking. "Dr. Rosalind Blackwell," she announced. "I'm Julian's mother." The headmaster stuttered. Yes. "Welcome, ma'am. You revoked a scholarship from the student who saved my son's life." "We followed policy." "Then your policy is broken." She turned. "Fix it. Today. Or I will." By 10 a.m., Elijah was summoned to the office. Dr. Blackwell stood waiting, her son seated beside her, color back in his cheeks. "Elijah," she said, "you saved my child. And your school punished you for it. That ends now." She handed him a folder. Inside was a full scholarship. Unconditional. Not from the school. From her. And, she added, "I'm establishing the Carter Fund, 10 full scholarships annually for students like you. Starting today." Elijah stared at the paper. He couldn't breathe. His mother got a call that evening. She was offered a management role at Dr. Blackwell's firm. "We believe in investing in families, not just futures," the message said. By Friday, Elijah walked through Rosewood's front doors again. Not with gloves. Not with a mop. With a backpack. He sat in the same seat, back row, window side. But everything had changed. The students stood when he entered. Not instructed to. Not asked. They just did. And taped beneath his desk was a note, written in blue ink. "You didn't fail. You reminded us all how to succeed." No signature. But he knew.